Wow, welcome to our Small Business Spotlight for District 9. I am Counselor John Hilliard, District 9. We're so excited to be here in Ensley, where we're sitting with Mr. Trey Washington, the owner of Cottons in Ensley. We're so excited to be here with him today. Mr. Washington, tell us a little bit about how you got to Ensley and about yourself.
I grew up in Ensley. I lived in Ensley my whole life. I graduated from Holy Family High School. When I graduated Holy Family High School, I started working at UPS. Left there in 2008, and I started working in a consignment store here in downtown Ensley. Worked there for about 8 years. I worked in a video game store down here for about 10 years. When Cottons went out of business in 2012, I was fortunate enough to purchase the property in 2014.
Wow. So you've had a full circle of entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man. Well, we noticed this is a historic building. I remember coming to Cottons. Tell us about some of the renovations and things that you've done here.
Wow. We've done everything as far as taking the carpet and the tile up, and we took everything off the walls as far as plaster and sheetrock and exposed the brick. We took the drop ceiling out, exposed the beadboard ceilings, and everything that we do here, it kind of surrounds just decorating what's already here as far as the natural elements, the wood floors, brick walls, beadboard ceilings.
Wow, you are a real entrepreneur. This is one of many small business spotlights that we've done, and we like to spotlight young entrepreneurs like yourself and your business you have here. I know that you have, what, 1, 2, 3 floors? Tell us about
Yes,
that.
Yes, sir. There are 3 floors here. This first floor is about roughly 7,000 square feet. My friend has a coffee shop on the other side of this wall. My wife's law firm, Washington Law, is on the 2nd floor. And then we have a 3rd floor that we're renovating right now to lease the space out.
Wow. Isn't that fascinating, man? I tell you. So where did you get your entrepreneur skills at? What do you think they came in?
I think it was God-given, but I had mentors that helped pull it out. I learned from guys like Mr. Ramon Danfora and Mr. Antonio Sperling. They taught me a lot. They taught me how to pull out what was on the inside.
Wow, so it's important to have mentors and be able to surround yourself by the right people.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's fascinating.
Yes,
you know, now we're here in the midst of a pandemic. Tell us a little bit, how have you survived in a pandemic, and what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs?
Wow. The first thing I would say is own the property. Because we don't have that overhead as far as rent, we were able to close the doors back in March. And then when it was time to reopen, we just came back down, turned the lights on, because we didn't have a tremendous rent bill to face or a lease payment to face that was hovering over our heads. We came back in and just started building again, just starting from scratch. So, yeah.
Wow. Own the space.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I know that's very important to own the space. Wow. So in the midst of a pandemic, you didn't have to worry about a landlord having to pay the landlord. Right. You're an entrepreneur. You work here in your business,
yes, sir.
So you can curb the overhead.
Right.
Wow.
And not to cut you off, I apologize.
Yes, go right ahead.
When I first purchased this building in 2014, I spent every dollar I had on the building, so I didn't have water, and I was actually living here.
Wow.
I learned a lot of different survival skills during those first few years of being here. Also, I worked for a company called Designers Law Studio, and I lived at the studio while I was working.
Wow.
Right, so I learned, there were a bunch of skills that I learned during those rough times that helped me survive during the COVID crisis.
Wow. So you've taken along the line of your mentors, your skill setting, you've done the live workplace.
Right.
So you know about curbing the overhead.
Right.
And those type things.
Right.
Wow. Do you have an online store?
Yes and no. I hadn't developed it the way I need to. And to be honest, that's another thing that helped during the COVID. I did online sales, but if my website was stronger, I'm pretty sure I would have done better. So I do, to answer your question, yes.
Well, give us your address.
Okay,
give us a phone number. Talk
right.
to the camera. Tell the audience.
All right, it's TreysFineClothing.com, and Trey is spelled T-R-E-S, fineclothing.com, and the telephone number is 205-200-4149.
Absolutely. Now, Mr. Washington, tell us a little bit about your inventory and what you have here. Give us a kind of a dream of what you have.
Okay, and that's a two-part answer. The first thing I'd like to say is that's another reason I was able to survive COVID is because my mentor, Ramon Danfora, when he closed his store 2 years ago, everything that he didn't sell, he blessed me with. He put it in my store, and I pay him as the clothing sells. So
wow.
I don't have overhead on the clothing.
Wow.
So to answer the question in the second part, most of the clothing that I sell comes from my mentor's store. He had a store for 44 years. It was called Ramon's. He started in downtown Birmingham on 3rd Avenue. And then he moved his store to the Summit, where he stayed for 10 years.
Wow.
And I worked for him for 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I got my start. And I guess the taste and what I select for my store, I got that from my mentor.
Wow. Well, I intend on shopping here. You know, you're real sharp today. I like what you're going. So you will see me here in the Ensley area. Give us the address once again and the telephone number.
Okay, yeah, the address is 400 19th Street, Ensley. That's Birmingham, Alabama, 35218. And the telephone number is 205-200-4149.
Wow, we want to thank Trey Washington at Trey Fine Clothing at Cotton's downtown Ensley for bringing his business to the downtown Ensley area and bringing life back to Ensley. I just love to see our entrepreneurs, our sharp young men like this pull it together, and his wife, who you know he couldn't do it without a better half. So we're excited to have both family members here in the Ensley area. And I say to all, come out to Trey Fine Clothing at Cotton's in downtown Ensley. I'm your city councilman, John Hilliard, District 9. It's District 9 time at Trey's Fine Clothing.